Hey y'all, welcome to Ginger Walkabout. I'm here in Lucille. I've gotten quite a few questions about specifics on the two major upgrades I did when I first bought the van to what I guess we would call the Ram Pro Master portion of the program. And those two things are changing out the stereo head unit and installing an alarm. So let's get into those things. Okay, so I found the ProMaster head unit, which is the stereo, buttons on it that you know use for navigation and music and all that. I found it to be quite anemic. It just was not. I was not feeling it. I really wanted Apple CarPlay. Really love me some Apple CarPlay, and I wanted a bigger screen. And anyway, I just wanted an upgrade to that system. So what I ended up with is the ALPINE Halo. Alright, so this is what it looks like. And it does look a bit like a tablet mounted to your dashboard, but it very much is not. It's permanently affixed. You can slide it up or down. When I first had it, it was slid all the way down, and I completely did not know that this little cubby was under here. And that's where I stick my phone and stuff. So anyway, so I slid it up. It also tilts up and down. So get a little sun on it, you can see a little better there. You can see my fingerprints too. But anyway, so it tilts. I wish it tilted side to side so I could angle it towards the driver, but it doesn't. So anyway, so with that, I have Apple CarPlay. The thing you need to know about Apple CarPlay is that you do have to plug it in. You have to plug your phone, your iPhone, into a USB port. So on the stock ProMaster, you've got two ports right here. One is, one is a USB, take that back. One's a USB and one's like a 12-volt cigarette lighter. When I had it installed, I told them to replace this USB with what would become the USB HDMI. But instead, they replaced this one. And I didn't catch it in time. And it's annoying, but if you're going to do this to your van, make sure they replace the existing USB with the USB HDMI, and you keep your cigarette lighter because that's more useful than just another USB. So, like I said, this is the USB cable that I use to plug my phone in. So, I plug my phone in here, and then I stick it up here in the cubby. And then there's an HDMI port, so that if I really wanted to plug my computer in, apparently I can watch movies on that screen. I don't know why I would want to do that, but there it is. So yeah, so that's the ALPINE Halo head unit. I'll turn it on here for you. So yeah, there you go. So now the key that we all know, yes, and you can do Sirius and all that. Now I will tell you, if you have a free year of Sirius, when you buy the Travato, it does not transfer, that I know of. Maybe you can call Sirius and get them to transfer it for you somehow, but it did not transfer on mine. So anyway, this is what you got. You got your regular, you know, your stereo and your presets for your radio, right? When you plug your phone, you can either plug your phone in and do Apple CarPlay by plugging it in, or you can just Bluetooth it up like your regular car stereo system and still use the phone and the reading of the text messages and whatnot. But the Apple CarPlay is going to give you the navigation. off of like either Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever maps you're using that's compatible with Apple CarPlay. So that's a nice feature because you get much bigger display. I'll show you that in a minute. So here's a couple of really nice features that when you upgrade your head unit, you get. So when you upgrade your head unit, hidden behind her in the dashboard is something called the Maestro Module from iDataLink, and I will link to the specific one I have. But that module is what makes this head unit work with your buttons on your steering wheel. So those still work to turn the volume up and down and all that stuff that we all love. It also plugs into the OBD2 port. So that way now you can actually get your vehicle information on your screen. So it tells me now, obviously this looks like a car, not the van, and it'll tell you there's a door open. It won't necessarily tell you which one. I know it happens to be the slider, but it'll tell you what your chassis battery voltage is. And the key to life is it tells you what your tire pressures are. So the van only comes with an idiot light that will tell you if your tire pressure gets way, way, way low. It won't tell you which tire, and it won't tell you how low. It just tells you to stop driving. So if you want to monitor the pressure of your tires, which I strongly recommend, then this is one very effective way to do it. And so it, like I said, it shows you your tire pressures right there. Now, the other thing you can do is go to gauges. Alright, so this is going to tell you your temperature, your coolant temperature, range is how far you can go on the amount of petrol you still have in your tank. And obviously it'll tell you your speed, and you can change these gauges. You can set this up to show you whatever OBD2 port information you want. This is just how I have it set up. Alright, so that's the vehicle information that it will give you right there at your fingertips, which is amazing. Anyway, go back to the home screen. The other thing that this does is it hooks into your rear view camera. There she is. There's the bicycle on the back. So in the normal ProMaster, the only time you can see your rear view camera is if you are in reverse. With this, you can see your rear view camera whenever you want. Driving down the road, you want to see who's tailgating you, whatever, there you go. You can turn the camera on and leave it on. So that's awesome sauce. Okay, so now I've plugged in my Apple CarPlay. So, right, I plugged my phone in and plugged her in here. So then my little Apple CarPlay button comes up, and here's all my apps. I got all the apps, so you can look at your map, you got your music, you can do your navigation, it'll do Amazon Music, it'll do basically any app that's compatible with Apple CarPlay, right? So, I generally like to use Google Maps. So what I normally do is I actually will start it on the phone. But anyway, so, you know, if we pull up, let's see, let's go to Laurel, Mississippi. So yeah, so then it's going to start.
Head south toward Rogers Lane.
And it's going to give you your turn by turn. You know, you got your little...
This route avoids a road closure on US 49 South near Jackson. You are on the fastest route. You will arrive at 9:56 p.m.
Well, that's nice. Alright, so yeah, it gives you all the routing. It gives you your, you know, when you're going to get there, just like your Google Maps on your phone or on your computer. And then you can listen to your iTunes, or you can listen to the radio, or you can listen to, I have Amazon Music, but if you got Sirius, if you can do your audiobooks, anyway. So yeah, so that's all the Apple CarPlay stuff. Like I said, you can listen to Pandora, you can listen to radio. It's got all the things. So that is basically the ALPINE head unit with the Maestro iDataLink module that connects it to the OBD2 port and your steering wheel control. Okay, so if you've watched a bunch of my videos, you will know that I had some troubles with the head unit, okay? Twice now. The first time was like kind of a complete disaster because figuring it out, I just did the wrong thing. So, learn from me. What happened was I turned the vehicle on and nothing. Head unit, black. Wouldn't come on, nothing. And the odometer on the dashboard of the van was blinking. I mean, it still was showing the mileage, but it was blinking. Very weird. So I took it to the Ram dealer. That was my mistake. It was not a Ram problem. It was a head unit problem. And specifically a Maestro iDataLink module issue. And so once I got that figured out, thank you internet, what was suggested was to disconnect the chassis battery. You gotta wait 20 minutes, reconnect it, and sure enough, the second time I had the problem, it fixed it. So if you have the Maestro DataLink module and things stop working, that's going to be the first thing you want to try, is disconnect your chassis battery, which in the Travato, of course, in the ProMaster is under the driver's feet. Go on YouTube, look up any video on replacing the battery in a ProMaster van, because they haven't changed it any in, you know, a decade. Watch the first half of the video, which is unhooking the existing battery, and then unhook it. It takes like 2 tools. It's not that hard. I did it literally in a parking lot in Washington State in the rain. You'll be fine. Anyway, and then reconnect it. And that should solve any problems. Like I said, it's been over a year. It's only happened twice. So yeah, but there can be a glitch in the works. And if there is, Ram ain't gonna fix it for you. You're gonna have to go to a stereo installer place. Hopefully the one that installed it in the beginning, but you may not be near them, so you might just have to go to anyone you can find that installs that particular system. So anyway, that's what I ended up having to do. But now that I know how to fix the problem, I'm much less like stressed out about it or concerned. Okay, so the other thing I had installed that I get questions about is the alarm system. So I have a Compustar alarm system that was recommended by people on that Travato owner and Facebook's group. Because the van, no kind of alarm system, right? I mean, you lock the doors. That's all you get. So here's what the little fob looks like. Buttons on the side, and I'll put the exact model and everything in the description. So the alarm system comes with a lot of bells and whistles, and you can choose to install them or not install them. So the first thing is the what I'm gonna call the auto ignition, because I don't want you to get confused with the auto start. So the auto start is the Volta system, start your engine to charge your batteries. Auto ignition I would call, I'm in my house and I want to turn my van on, so it's on before I get in it. Auto ignition. I did not have that installed on the van with the alarm because I didn't want the auto ignition to interfere with the auto start. Then you've got your breaking windows feature. Now that's sound. That the alarm listens for the sound of breaking glass. problem with that is, I don't know if breaking acrylic windows would make the same sound and make the alarm go off or not. So if someone popped a cab window, the alarm should go off. If they popped an acrylic window, I don't know. The other feature is the basically the level, like, so if someone jacks up the van to try to tow it away, it should go off. Or if the van shakes too much, the alarm should go off. Well, you know, walking around in the van can make it shake. The vibrations from, if you're near an airport and jets are flying overhead, can make it shake. So most of the time, I have that feature turned off. Just because, you know, I mean, I don't want the alarm going off constantly, right? And then another piece of this is the engine starting. So, if the engine starts while the alarm is engaged, the alarm goes off. That's great, unless I'm using the auto start, because I'm running like the AC or something. And I have literally at like 3 or 4 in the morning in a Walmart parking lot, I didn't even think about it, and all of a sudden, like, the alarm's going off, I'm waking up everybody in the damn parking lot, I'm like, you know, what's happening? And it was because the engine started to charge up the batteries, set the alarm off. So that's kind of annoying, right? If I set the auto start, then I need to leave the alarm off in the van. And having the alarm on in the van while I'm sleeping is kind of one of the major points, right? Like, I want people to be like, don't mess with her, she got her alarm on, try to open a door or pop a window and it's gonna ring to high heaven. So that's one thing to know, is if you have your auto start on, then you turn your alarm off. So there's that. Also, the engine starting and high idling will shake it and make the alarm go off as well. So there's another thing to know. If you, and I have done this, I had to get in the habit of, first thing in the morning when I get up, turn the alarm off. Because if the alarm's set and you open a door, alarm goes off. So, you know, there's another thing you got to be cognizant of if you have the system is, yeah, you get up in the morning, you go to pop that slider open, and woo, goes crazy. So those are all things that make it difficult to have this sort of traditional car alarm system in an RV in the Travato. Keep that in mind if you want to do it. So the other piece to the alarm system is the drone module. I know, everything got a module, right? The drone module, it basically low jacks your vehicle for you, okay? So it is on the module is on, it works on a cellular network. You have to pay a monthly fee for it. It's like 20 bucks a month or something. Anyway, if your alarm goes off, it will alert your cell phone. So I like this a lot because, you know, I'm obsessed with my dog, as we all know. And if my dog's in the van and I'm in the Walmart doing some shopping and someone steals my van with my dog in it, then I can just look at the app and call the police and be like, here is where my van is. Please go and recapture the van and save my dog. So yeah, so here's what that looks like. So as you can see, it has a map, and I'm trying to use the reflection to block out my address because I don't want y'all coming to visit. But it has a map that tells you where the van is. And then it tells you the state of charge of the battery, which is helpful. And it can do other stuff too. You can go down here, that little green button, push that. And you can use this to lock and unlock the van remotely, right? So in theory, you could just not take your keys with you and use this to lock and unlock the van. I get a little concerned that I'm going to not, like, my phone's going to die or something and I'm not going to be able to unlock the van. But you can do it. And you can lock it remotely, which is nice. So yeah, so that's the drone module. And I do like that part. But here's the thing. Again, if you've been watching my channel, you will know that I had some trouble with my auto start. And the problem with the auto start is that it was starting because it thought the chassis battery's low. The only thing we can think of that is making the chassis battery drop, especially when you first turn it on, is that drone module. Now, contrary to popular belief and what you watch in your little spy dramas on the televisions, you cannot have a tracking device without some sort of signal being emitted, and that requires power. Battery or direct electric, something. You've got to have power to that device so that it can transmit a signal that you can then track. Okay? So this whole, like, you know, we can put a microphone in a cheese sandwich and find the cheese sandwich after somebody eats it is bullshit. Because you've got to have a signal transmitting. And for that, you've got to have power. So maybe if you eat your cheese sandwich with a battery in it, then you'd be okay. But, so, that means that the drone module is connected to your chassis battery, and it's using your chassis battery to emit a signal that then your cell phone can pick up, and GPS can pick up and know where the van is. So it is going to take some battery power. What you might want to do if you're thinking about doing this mod to your van is they can put it on its own separate battery. I've thought about doing that and see how that goes, but I haven't done it yet. But you can talk to your installer and see about doing that so that it doesn't mess with the electrical system in your Travato, which is a very delicate system, a very complicated system. So I would say mess with it as little as possible. If you're gonna do the drone module on your alarm, have it put on a separate battery. That would be my advice. Okay, so the question is, would I put the alarm system on the van if I was doing it again? I don't know. I don't know if I'd spend the money. Again, with the head unit and the alarm and all that, it was $3 grand all in. For the equipment and the install. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I don't know. Knowing what I know now, knock on wood, have not had any security incidents on the road. I don't know if I would put the alarm on it again. I don't know. I don't know that I would do it. I mean, it's nice. It's nice that I know where my van is. It's nice that, you know, when I go to sleep at night, I can turn the alarm on, assuming that the auto start isn't set. You know, there's a little blue blinky light, which some may like, some may not like. Blue blinky light telling everybody there's an alarm, don't mess with this van. I don't know, though. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. So, there's my two major purchases I did on the chassis when I got the van. And both of them I'm on the fence on. I know. So I would suggest, my biggest advice is just try it without it. And then if you still want it, go for it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's sorry. I wish I could give you the definitive answer. But I definitely would try it without it first. And then make a decision based on that. All right. So I hope that was helpful, y'all. Hopefully that gave you information about the systems that I put in here with a little more clarity than you got just as I mentioned them in passing on other videos. I will link down below to all the components that are in there so that you can, you know, check those out for yourself. Definitely you would want to use a professional installer to put them in. I mean, some people have done it themselves and they are much more technologically savvy than I am. I'll tell you that right now. So I would use a professional installer. Anyway, if you have any other questions, by all means, shoot them down in the comments and I will endeavor to answer them. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up and hopefully I will see you on the road.